How y'all doing over there? How y'all doing? Okay, we're going to start a live in just 1 minute and 40 or so seconds. All right, so it's Chris Harris, Secrets of Safety Dawg. And exciting news, kind of. I mean, before we get into what I prepared for you today, kind of exciting news. Truck World was this last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And boy, was it ever nice to get out and see people. It was wonderful. We actually saw people, and it was pretty dang cool to see people in their human form. I tell you, it was pretty darn exciting, I have to say. People were out and about. I kind of think maybe the crowd was a little bit lighter than it would have been had we not have the previous 2 years. However, there was a lot of people, a lot of exhibitors, and a lot of people hanging out. So it was pretty cool, pretty nice, let me tell you, to be able to see people. Lots of people wearing masks, lots of people not wearing masks, lots of handshaking, lots of hand sanitizer, and things like that. It was pretty darn exciting, let me tell you. So just getting prepared here, and we will go live in just a few more seconds. I mean, we're already live, but we're going to start in just a few more seconds. So, hey, somebody has joined us. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And that's it. Hey, welcome to the Secrets of Safety Dawg. We're Safety Dawg, myself, Chris Harris. We often go live on Mondays. That is, if it's not a holiday Monday or like a Thanksgiving, Easter Monday. I took Easter Monday off, so that was pretty nice. Took Easter Monday off. It was really cool. And sorry, I didn't want to do that. Don't you love it when you are live on the radio or live on YouTube? I was trying to see who was here, if I could pull up the comments so that if the viewer wanted to say hi, I would give them a shout out. And there's the comments. Hey, found them. All right, so what are we talking about today? We're talking about CVOR as we normally do on a Monday. So let's get right into it without wasting any more, or not wasting time, of course. And I thought I was all prepared, but there you go. Once again, I can prove that I can screw up on live radio. There we go. ELDs. Oh yes, I wanted to show you that there are, where is it? There we go. There is a list now of about 36 different ELD manufacturers. As you can see here, there's 4 pages, and the way it's set up for me is there's 10 people on each page. So there is the first 3 pages of 10 each, and then 6 people on the last page. So these are all 36 different devices, not 36 different manufacturers necessarily, because as you can see here, Assured takes up 2 spots, but they have 2 different approved devices. So that's pretty darn exciting that there is now 36 devices that have been approved to Transport Canada. So check that link out. That is pretty important. What are we talking about today? We're going into the CVOR Safety Manual once again, but specifically I wanted to cover one of the modules here, and we're going to talk a little bit about hours of service. So let me get over to the presentation here, because I do want to talk about the hours of service for you, because whether you realize it or not, there's a whole whack of record keeping that you must adhere to as per that book and the MTO. So whether you have ELDs in your trucks or not, because of course only those people currently who go stateside have ELDs, but as of June the 12th of 22, Ontario government says you've got to have an ELD, even though they won't be issuing a ticket until January the 1st of 2023. So soft enforcement or educational enforcement from June the 12th on, so about 6 months. And then they will start issuing tickets January the 1st of 2023. So kind of important, I think, that you know. But whether or not you have an ELD, it doesn't matter. Record keeping is important. So under the Highway Traffic Act, there's the reg 555/06. It says right in the reg, and it says in the CVOR Safety Manual, that you being the carrier, must monitor compliance with these regulations. And you must be monitoring non-compliance with these regulations. So you've got to be watching the hours of service. You must be documenting the immediate remedial actions taken by you, the carrier, to the driver who is not sticking to the hours of service regulations. So whether you go beyond the 160K or not, it doesn't matter. You've got to immediately document your remedial actions that you have taken. So the 160K, of course, is whether you need to, whether your drivers need a paper log or not. If you are under the 160K, that means the drivers don't need a paper log, but you as the carrier must still monitor compliance with the hours of service regulations. The drivers are not exempt from the hours of service regulations. They are only exempt from keeping a log. And therefore, the carrier must know how many hours they have spent in driving and off-duty mode in the different facets of the hours of service. So, as I say, the remedial action must be taken, and it must be taken and documented or put into writing. Specifically, operators' responsibility under the regulations require the operators to monitor the compliance for each driver in these regulations. Right? It says right there, this is the Highway Traffic Act. An operator that determines that there is a non-compliance with the regulations shall take immediate remedial action and record the dates of which the non-compliance occurred, the date of issuance of the non-compliance, and the action that you took. So this is the Highway Traffic Act. So you can see it's pretty clear that you've got to document your monitoring of the hours of service. And by the way, when the MTO does come in for an audit, or if they do come in for an audit, this is what they're looking for. One of the things, one of many, they are looking for the documentation that you are adhering to, that you, the operator, are monitoring the driver's compliance with the regulations, and then what actions did you take when the driver messes up. So proactive measures, this is right out of the CVOR Safety Manual. The emphasis, or the red color, is mine. A proactive approach is key component to the hours of service management program. Operators need to develop and implement written policies and procedures. So a couple of weeks ago, I talked about what MTO expects for written policies. Here's one of them: hours of service. Written policy and procedure to ensure compliance with the regulations while demonstrating due diligence, and the operator has the ability to undertake corrective action. So you've got to do this. You've got to document it. And effective training of the operational staff. Again, this is cut and pasted right out of the CVOR Safety Manual, the great book that the MTO has put together for you. If you haven't read it, I really encourage you to read it. But here it says you've got to effectively train your operational staff, which is like the dispatchers and people like that are supervising and dispatching the drivers. And lastly, you need effective training for the new drivers and retraining for those who have demonstrated continued pattern of violations. So every time you hire a new driver, part of your orientation needs to be effective training of new drivers. It's right there in writing in black and white. This is right out of the CVOR Safety Manual. So reactive measures, you've got to be doing your documentation of reactive measures. And so what did I cover today? What did I want you to take away from this? Basically, I really want you to know that you've got to document your compliance with the hours of service. You've got to be monitoring your driver's compliance with the hours of service. You've got to train and have proof of training for your dispatchers and those that are dispatching the drivers. And then what training are you giving to the new drivers when they come on board with you? And then what remedial training are you giving to the drivers who break the hours of service regulations? So whether you are within the 160K or not, it doesn't matter. You must monitor compliance with the hours of service. The hours of service, again, just to be clear, you are not exempt from the hours of service. No one is exempt from the hours of service just because you stay within the 160K. The drivers are only exempt from keeping a logbook. However, the carrier then has the responsibility of keeping the hours of service regulations and knowing which of the hours or how many hours they are driving on duty and off duty. So with that, I'd like to say thank you for tuning in. And the Secrets of Safety Dawg, most Mondays at 1 p.m. That's it for this week. A Safety Dawg is out.